Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another video. So, I've been wanting to talk about this game for a long time, and I finally got it, and I want to do my first early impressions of playing on the game, actually playing on a proper version of the game, as well as just go through a few points about what the game is about, and what the game involves, and gameplay within it as well. So, let's begin. So, I'm obviously talking about one of the most uncommon games and one of the most hardest games to get on the PS2, and also one of the priciest. I'm talking about Rule of Rose. So, it released in 2006 on the PlayStation 2 in Europe and America and Japan. Published by 505 Game Street in Europe and Atlas in America and Japan. The game is very hard to come by, mainly because of it being published by Atlas in America and 505 Game Street in Europe. Also, the controversy, which I'm going to get into shortly. It was developed by Sucker Punch, who before this only really did one other game, and it seems to be some sort of like Harvest Moon sort of game with that respect, which were published by Natsume, who do a lot of the Harvest Moon stuff. So I just want to talk about, why is this game rare and everything like that. So as I mentioned, not a lot of copies were printed, and in some countries it was banned. So let's start off with the controversy. So the controversy actually all started at E3 2006, where the trailer for Rule of Rose was shown. I'm going to be putting the initial video, your first cut scene, as well on this, so you can see. But reason why Sony ended up pulling their publishing on it, saying we don't want to publish this game because it was going to be published by Sony Computer Entertainment instead of Atlas and 505 Game Street, as I mentioned. The reason why they pulled out on it was because of the sexual nature involving some of the characters in the game, and seeing as all the characters, well, predominantly the characters in the game are young children and predominantly young girls as well, so already there's a bit of a creep factor going on with it. And then in Europe, when it was set to release, EU ministers ended up just like saying that it's pseudomasochistic because of the live burial scene in it, and it's wrong that these children should be put in this position and everything of that nature. So it was actually banned in the UK, hence getting an English copy of it is very hard to find, and the only copies that you'll find are review copies, which were sent out by 505 Game Street. The rest of the copies are in different languages, primarily Spanish, Italian, French, and I also want to say German. I think I said German, but it only got set released in certain countries. In Poland it was outright banned as well, due to, as I mentioned, the actual developer of the game, he came out in an interview and just went, I don't see where this pseudomasochistic title is coming from. There's nothing about the game which is that. Personally, I find it completely rubbish. That's just me generalising. So, but obviously it got cancelled, and it didn't receive great reviews. I think IGN only give it about like 40 out of 100, so 40% pretty much. It was a very low regarded game, but that's why it has gone up. So while I'm going to be talking about this game, I want just to clarify that this is an expensive game to buy, and it is an expensive purchase for any video game collector, and especially for PS2 games, because from what I know, most people who get games for the PlayStation 2 don't really want to be spending above like 20 quid primarily, or whatever regional equivalent is, and that don't want to be spending too much on them. So paying like over 100 for a game is seen as a bit extreme, and I had to, even though I got mine for under 100, I had to really think about what I was getting and weigh up pros and cons of it and everything like that as well. So let's get on with it anyway. So, rule of rose. You play as Jennifer, a teenage girl who lost her parents in an aircraft accident, and you've been sent off to the Red Rose orphanage. And this is where your story begins. You end up being, you start off, you're on a bus going to the orphanage, and then a kid's asking you to read a story. He ends up running off while leaving you with it. And the overlining for him is the very sad princess. Stuff like that. Or not having a good day and stuff like that. So the story is very much against who you are as well. The character you play, Jennifer. So you find yourself, when you first see the orphanage, first thing that you see is a couple of kids in bags over the head just beating a sack, which suggests that someone's in it as well, especially with some of the noises involved. And then you're just, you've just been put in this bad situation. You've just got to try and find out what's happening, and you're set trials by what is called the Aristocrats Club, which is a group of children, all of different social levels. Like, you know, you've got the higher ups who are more richer, more smarter looking, and then you've got the more scruffier children lower down. So it's very structured in that respect. It's all set in I want to say a 20s or 30s Britain. So a lot of the voice acting is they're putting on very, very strong English accents, and with being children it kind of comes off a bit creepy. So as for gameplay, gameplay sort of goes between psychological horror aspect gameplay or Silent Hill and hunting ground. You've got your tank controls for moving around in that. As for puzzles, there aren't really any puzzles. It's more or less finding items to get to the next part, to the next story, and, you know, getting offerings for the Aristocrats Club as well. Quite early on in the game, on the second chapter, you come across your companion named Brown. Is a dog, and you can get him to find items. So, for example, one of the first things that you do with him, you get a tin box. Then you put that in your find item slot, and then you press triangle. Then he will find like dog biscuits to, you know, help him heal, and so that way you don't die and stuff like that as well. He does fend off attackers, not effectively, just slows them down a little bit. What you notice from the enemies, that they're all seem to be little children, and very scruffy little children as well. It seems to be playing into this, like, you know, these dirty children, these dirty children sort of thing as well. You get this feeling of. As I mentioned, the movement is tank control-esque, but the way that Jennifer moves, she's alone, she's scared, and most of the time her hands are always together like that. She's always looking down, and she always walks slowly. And when she's running, literally she's running with her head down. She's just getting through it. So and even though they are children to interact with, when they interact with you, it's always the same stuff: filthy girl, scruffy girl, and stuff like that. They insult you, they don't respond to you as such. No, this is mine. Get away, you unloved girl. Nobody likes you. You're nothing but junk. So, and then we get on to the combat, which I think is the biggest flaw in the game. The combat is very wooden, very stiff, and it's very slow as well. There's no fast-paced combat in it, and at one point in the game you end up like getting attacked by loads of these little like monsters, which are pretty much children in this respect, and your only attack is to like literally jab and go like that. One of the first weapons that you get though is a fork, but all of this adds to, you're just a little girl, you're just a teenage girl, and you're alone in this environment. You're scared. You have no fighting experience or like that, and you have to like just survive, because if you don't, then you get killed. And that's pretty much the game in a nutshell. The interesting thing that I love the stylized choices of the game, and the atmosphere is very, very weighty atmosphere. you kind of get the feeling that nobody wants you there and that you are alone, like I mentioned. And the music that plays in the background, even though it's merely a single loop of music, this like violin string quartet sort of thing, it's very slow, very downbeat. The game is not fast paced at all, and it never really picks up that pace as such. And overall, you're feeling for the character, you feel in the exact same position as the character does because of like the music, the environment, feeling like that. Graphically, the game does a good job with what it's got. The game looks okay. It's very dark, very depressing. The environment is, while it can seem repetitive in a way that you have to keep going forward and back, forward and back, forward and back, it really helps with that. I mean, the biggest change that might actually come from it is when you start the game, you're in the orphanage, and you're still in the orphanage, but then they change names and stuff, so it's like the cabin crew go here, and you know, all that, and there's stuff there, because then you seem to be in some sort of like Zeppelin sort of thing, which is quite an interesting thing. And I look forward to playing more of the game and find out more of what's going on. So overall, the game, it's very slow paced. If you're looking for an action type title or anything like that, something fast, you're not going to find it here. If you're a fan of Silent Hill and very early Silent Hill games, so Silent Hill 1, 2 and 3, you'll probably enjoy this. It won't be as good as that, but you'll enjoy it. And what I recommend to anyone who wants to buy this game is, quite simply, get yourself a free McBoot, like on the memory card and everything, and just download an ISO, play a couple of hours of it, like maybe 2-3 hours, and see how you feel about the game. Or don't even play 2 hours, play about 1.5 hours, see how you find the game. If you like it, then get it. I can't warrant people purchasing this game at the moment because of the price that it goes for. What I would wish is that they would release it as a digital format on the PlayStation 2, on the PlayStation Network for the PS4, because it would be, I think a lot of people nowadays would enjoy it, and it would be, because it'll be something different, and against the grain, you can be like, oh, this really rose, I've heard things about this. No. So that's what I recommend with that. And as I say, I'm infatuated with this game at the moment. I'm playing on it, I'm going through it, and I just want to make a quick video just to explain a little bit about the game. This is no way a review, this is no way me saying go out and buy it. This is just me telling you little bits about the game, and come to your own opinion about it. And as I say, just either get a free McBoot, play it on there, or even, I know these are horrible words for collectors of video games, emulate it. Because unless you know you're going to like this game, then don't buy it. If you have any second doubts on the game, don't buy it because of that. So anyway, hope you've enjoyed my video today. I know it's been a bit quick and a bit of a slow paced one because of the subject matter at hand of the game, but if you enjoyed my video, like it. If you dislike it, feel free to tell me your opinions on it in the comment section below. If you like my videos and you want to see more of them, feel free to subscribe. But as I say at the end of every video, keep on gaming.